ERi-TV English news broadcast. Dear viewers, hello and thank you for joining us, bringing you the latest updates on our domestic and international matters from our headquarters in Asmara, and inviting you to stay with us is Heaven Johans, your news anchor for this session. Let's begin with the major headlines. Voluntary blood donation in the Central region. Social service provision institutions in Mihlab administrative area. Togo waste joining the alliance of Sahel states. And India and Russia to sell cruise missile to Indonesia. In today's domestic news, members of the Taxi Owners Association in the Central Region, Sawa Construction Company Central Office and the National Security Agency Office collectively donated 173 units of blood on 16 and 17 January to enrich blood supply of the National Blood Transfusion Service. According to the report, members of the Taxi Owners Association donated 54 units of blood, members of Sawa Construction Company donated 88 units of blood, and members of the National Security Agency contributed 31 units of blood. Mr. Mengsab Abay and Mr. Isbarach Haile, heads of the Taxi Owners Association, stated that this donation marks the 12th time their members have donated blood, making it an annual initiative alongside their daily activities. Similarly, the coordinators of Sawa Construction Company noted that this was their third voluntary blood donation campaign. Mr. Johannes Gebretinsae, coordinator of voluntary blood donation at the National Blood Transfusion Service, commended the noble initiative of the donors in the Central Region and encouraged others to follow their example. The National Blood Transfusion Service reported that in 2024, over 16,000 units of blood were donated by voluntary donors. In another news, social service provision institutions in the Mihlab administrative area are playing a significant role in improving the livelihoods of local residents, according to Mr. Adam Haj, the area administrator. Mr. Adam reported that the administrative area has 4 schools, ranging from kindergarten to high school, which are actively providing educational services. Additionally, adult education is being provided regularly to 1,773 people, marking a 20% increase compared to the previous year. Mr. Adam also highlighted that the local health station is delivering commendable pre- and postnatal care, effectively addressing challenges in providing maternity services to pregnant women. Regarding potable water, the administrative area is served by 1 water reservoir and 5 water distribution centers. Mr. Samuel Yabio, Managing Director of the administrative area, called for urgent attention to the construction of additional classrooms to accommodate the increasing number of students, the renovation of the road connecting Mihlab to Karan, as well as the provision of electricity to the Mihlab area. Mihlab administrative area is located 43 kilometers east of Karan and is one of the 11 administrative areas in the Galab subzone. Do stay tuned, dear viewers, for we'll be back with the international news after the short break. Welcome back. Togo is considering the possibility of joining the alliance of Sahel states that embraces Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger, as indicated by the Togolese Foreign Minister Robert Dassey on Thursday. The foreign minister noted that his country's membership in the alliance could provide security and economic assistances. By strengthening ties with Togo, the landlocked alliance of Sahel states countries of Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso could gain access to the sea through the Togolese coast and the port of Lomé, facilitating the import and export of goods. It is to be recalled that Mali, Niger and Burkina Faso announced their withdrawal from the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, and formed a tripartite alliance. In another news, India and Russia have reached a deal to export a cruise missile to Indonesia. The 3 countries have agreed on pricing for a deal to supply BrahMos cruise missiles to the Indonesian armed forces, the Hindustan Times reported. The development comes days after Indonesia's formal accession to BRICS as a full member was announced by Brazil, which currently holds the group's rotating presidency. Noting that the missiles are critical in strengthening its military capacity, Indonesia takes the lead to facilitate the procurement process. The first foreign buyer of the BrahMos was the Philippines, which received its first batch of the missiles in April 2022. In today's final report, Colombian President Gustavo Petro has announced the suspension of peace talks with National Liberation Army rebel group. The president's announcement comes in response to the ELN's attacks in the country's northeast region on Colombia's border with Venezuela. President Petro condemned the attacks and stated that the dialogue process with the group has been suspended and that the ELN has no will for peace. Last year, Petro's government reached a 6-month ceasefire agreement and started a peace process with the ELN, which had been set to expire in February. However, clashes have repeatedly disrupted the talks, which were suspended in September after a deadly ELN attack targeting government forces. Negotiations resumed later in 2024. Colombia has endured a decades-long war with left-wing rebel groups, some connected with the drug trade. When President Petro took office in 2022, he promised total peace in the country and tried to push for ceasefires with the armed groups. The country reached a landmark agreement in 2016 that ended fighting with the FARC rebel group and saw members of the group put down their weapons. But the violence with the ELN and FARC splinter factions that did not recognize the 2016 pact has continued. And now a quick recap of the major headlines. Voluntary blood donation in the Central region. Social service provision institutions in Mahlab administrative area. Togo ways joining the Alliance of Sahel states. And India and Russia to sell cruise missile to Indonesia. This was The World on Saturday with ERi-TV English News broadcast. Dear viewers, thank you for joining. It's officially a good night from us.